Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. It's part 8 today and we are back for a big match. As the title says, we are 2 games from Europe. We're in the semi-finals of the Welsh Cup, having beaten 2 top tier sides already. And if we can beat 2 more, we'll have European football on our return to the top tier. So that's going to be an important moment today. We've also got to look at that youth intake that was promised by our head of youth development as a golden generation. Will his poor attributes have overestimated them, or is he absolutely spot on? We'll find out that in a moment. And we've got to talk about our director of football here as well. I know this isn't the head coach, it's not the main focus. He's certainly no Pat Nevin, but there's some interesting things going on, so we'll talk about that as well. We have already wrapped up the second tier title in Wales. We've already wrapped up the League Cup after beating TNS in the semi-finals. It has been just about the perfect first season so far. Yes, we've upset the owner. Yes, there's a few problems with the club culture. But he stopped preventing signings. It looks like we're going to go up just before the finances catch up with us being professional. So everything is looking great here at Bangor City. So if you're looking forward to all of that today, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I really hope you're enjoying the story so far. Of course, Cliftonville in FM20 inspired it, and this one has been going just to form so far. We've got new contracts, we've got people tied up, and I feel like we're in a really good position. If you want to stay up to date with the channel this week, please do subscribe down below and turn on that notification bell. We'll have episodes every day at 3:30, rotating from this series and the head coach. And of course, although our live stream beta series with Wigan finished earlier today, you can vote for the long-term live stream save. That will start on the channel next week, and you've got till the end of today to get your vote in. So head over to the community page and let me know who you'd like to see me managing for the rest of FM21 in the live streams. But we face Cardiff Met Uni today. It's the semi-final of the Welsh Cup, but we've got a lot to talk about off the pitch before then. Firstly, and most importantly, it's our head of youth development. It was sold as something spectacular in the preview in December. Unfortunately, didn't quite live up to that. There's one guy that hasn't been given a contract, but there's a few who have, and they're not the worst. They are certainly by no means a golden generation. The best of the bunch is a very good player, but unfortunately one that's probably never going to suit us, and that man is Jack Hankin. He's a 17-year-old right wing-back, but he can't play full-back at all. He can't really play right midfield, and it just leaves a little bit of a question really. He's got very good attributes for a right back, and we're going to try and retrain him. But I just wonder who in this day can play right wing back, but not either right mid or right back. It seems a little bit bizarre in the modern footballer. But Jack Hankin, the best of the bunch, 1.5 star ability, 4 star potential, and we might try and get him a debut on the final day, if we can. We're already promoted, of course, so if he's training well and he's doing well, we'll give him the opportunity. The other one, who I'm probably more excited about, despite his poorer personality and attribute set, is Macaulay Flanagan. Because with Mello going in the summer, we need 2 number 10s. And this one, I think, could be our backup. So Flanagan, 1.5 star ability, 3.5 potential. Very good passer of the ball already. Decent technique, solid first touch. He's okay physically for a 16-year-old. And he's brave, he's good at decision making, he's determined, he's a leader. And that's something that long term, bravery to get on the ball and try and do something special could be great. But we've got to work on that work rate, we've got to work on that stamina, and we've got to get him in a mentoring group. So that will be the main aim after today. But again, if he's training well, we'll try and hand over the baton before the end of the year. The other one, and the final one probably worth looking at, is Cian Gwenault, a goalkeeper at 16 years of age. 1 star ability, 3 star potential. But potentially is backup goalkeeper with our financial situation, an area where I save money. He's fairly professional, I'd back him to improve quickly. It's just whether or not we feel like he's ever going to be good enough. And if he can be a backup, with Zabret clearly the first choice, I think he'd be alright. So he's possibly got an option there. He's training very well already, and we'll see how he develops over the summer. If not, we'll get in a backup. So that's sort of where we are at the moment. It's a strange old youth intake because it's nothing like what we expected or we were being sold, but it's still pretty good, and they're players in key areas. I know Hankin could be a right back in the future, but in terms of a backup keeper and a number 10, that's pretty much what we could have asked for. And the reason Macaulay Flanagan could be even more important more quickly is because of a little bit of transfer news. We of course had a couple who are pre-agreed to leave. We'll talk about this guy in a minute because that relates to our director of football chat. But if we have a look at our transfer history, we have loaned out Kian Yari to Eastbourne Borough. They're paying most of his wages. He's coming back from another injury where he's really struggled. So we just thought to loan him out for a couple of months, to have 80 of his £100 a week paid and to have a loan fee as well. It just seems a sensible suggestion. And that's one of the things I'm most pleased with in Football Manager this year. There's a lot more sort of lower transfer and loan fees. Little deals going on between lower league clubs, which I like. But Eastbourne Borough bring in Yari. He's played 2 games for them so far. And for him, he's looking at what he's going to have after the summer. Because I don't think he'll be staying here. He wanted a £60 a week pay rise. And we're certainly not giving him that. Especially when he can't even stay fit. But let's go back to that deal on the transfer screen. The reason I want to talk about this is we had it earlier in the season when our chairman was in block mode. He was stopping all the transfers going through. But our director of football found that young Liam Coyle from Liverpool. Now, although it's not the head coach, we're in charge of transfers and contracts here. We still set our director of football to go and find players and initiate deals. We'd be silly not to. If we can have more people looking for quality players, as long as we've got the option to say no, it's fine. So Liam Coyle is the one we looked at earlier this year. Not on the loan list anymore, because he was an immediate thought for next season for me. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Still a superb signing if we want to get him, but it doesn't look possible. He has made an appearance in the Champions League as well, so I could see why he might feel it's a bit of a step down. And he's out for 2 months injured, so will that affect him negatively? But as soon as we got promoted, our director of football made a bid for a centre-half to come in on loan next season. Now we know Ignacio Torres is leaving, we know that Maldon we'd like to move back to right back, and we know that the others aren't too great. So when we saw this guy, Cameron Badebo, we were quite excited, but it was £600 a week. I was a little worried, is it going to be a deal that we can do? And at the moment, I'm not going to accept it because we haven't got the wage budget to do so. Next season, we'll try and get him in. But look at this guy's stats. 17 for tackling, 12 for heading, 12 positioning. Okay, he's a little bit slow and he's not the strongest. But technically and mentally, he is a top quality centre-half. He's certainly well above the standard we'd expect to get at this stage. So either our director of football's attributes are wildly inaccurate, because if we go and have a look at them, they're still very poor. Ross Jenkins has 4 for judging ability, 2 for judging potential. Now you look at those 2 players and tell me that you think that matches, because I don't particularly think it does. And it's left me with another dilemma as well, because he is out of contract at the end of the season, as are all of our staff. And I'm having to decide at the moment, I've got adverts out for some of the other positions, but do I want to replace him? Because he's listed as unambitious, he can't negotiate, everything suggests he'll be awful at the job, and he keeps finding gems. And I don't know that based on that evidence, I can let him go from the club. So I'll wait and see how that pans out. I've got a big decision to make there. And I might not even get to make that, because we've got 2 months to go, and we've still had no contract offer. So whether or not we're going to be here, even when we go up to the top tier, is another big question that I don't have the answer to. And that's one that worries me a lot more at the moment. But everything else is going swimmingly. We have had a couple of little injuries, but nothing too bad. The dynamics look excellent. The schedule, if we go and look at it, has been just as good. 4 wins in March, 3 of them very convincing. A 5-0 win away from home to start the month, with Fanian getting 4 and O'Grady the other. A 1-0 win at home to Llandudno, Fanian with the winner there. A 5-1 win at home to Conwy. We beat them 8-1 earlier in the season. This time a Fanian hat-trick, O'Grady and Placeres off the bench with a goal. And a 3-0 win away at Prestatyn, avenging the defeat, the last one we had in the league. And Fanian got yet another hat-trick. That puts him on 37 goals from 25 games. And something's just clicked. In training, he's under that Chris O'Grady mentoring group, and he's wanted more worryingly at the minute. Aldershot better not come in for him. With our finances as they are, will the chairman just accept it? I don't know. But Fanian's a superstar. He's playing well, he's back in form, and he's going to be the top scorer in the division by a long way. And what he is going to have next year is the support of his mentoring lead, because if we look at the contract offers and we put them in order, you can see on the ones expiring this year, Chris O'Grady's no longer there. He has signed a year extension with a £50 a week wage drop as well. Very nice of him to do so. And he's still scoring goals too. 17 goals, 8 assists in 25 games. He's contributing to a goal a game. We cannot argue with it. We've got a really good side here. And even in its current form, I reckon we'd be in the top 2 or 3 and qualify for Europe next year. But I'd like to get a better side on so we could really compete with TNS. Of course, we played 4 cup games against top tier sides this season. Although they've all been tight, we've beat TNS narrowly by a goal each time. and gone to extra time in the other 2. So essentially 2 wins and 2 draws. Now what's going to happen in the 5th? We're going to delay this Badebo deal because we don't want to put out 600 quid a week yet. If we get promoted, we will offer it again. We'll keep delaying as long as we can get away with, and then we'll try again in the summer. As for Coyle, we'll do exactly the same. So let's skip ahead to 3 o'clock. It's match day, and it's a big one against Cardiff Met Uni. 2 games away from Europe, 1 from a cup final. Can we get that little bit closer today? Let's go and find out. Here we go then. Tobler and Brino recovery from injury, but neither of them match sharp today. Same for Ben Atkinson, but he's in a bit of a better shape. So we'll try and get him back into the lineup, and he's actually being recommended to come back in. So what we're going to do, he was on the bench last time. We're going to bring him in for Healy. Healy will go on to the 5 substitutes, the reduced bench for the cup of course. And it's just whether I put the left back on as well. I think I will. For Placeres, we've already got Cook who can play the holding role, Wells and Healy as midfielders, and then Zante Isla is the striker. He incidentally has signed a new deal as well, exactly the same wage he's on now. And he's a hero off the bench, and he keeps scoring against the top tier sides, so I have to keep him in. As with the previous cup tie, in the holding role I'm going to opt for Garcia, just because I feel like he's better defensively. Ben Wells is playing really nicely as the playmaker in those games that we need them, but Garcia's strong in the tackle. At centre half, it's whether I go for Eriksson or for Cook. Now normally I've opted for Cook in these games, and I think I'm going to do the same again. Back to the 11 that's most tried and tested, Cook will come into the back 4. And that leaves us with the following lineup. We've got Zabret in goal, Moore and Bolton the fullbacks, with Cook and Molden the centre halves, Garcia, Atkinson, Boot and Mello the midfield 4. Just a few more games left for our Brazilian star. He's off soon. We're going to miss him so much. I'm going to give it 6 months and try and get him back, because he is an absolute star for Welsh football. Up front, it's the goal machine Fanian alongside Chris O'Grady, and game changers all over the bench if we need them. So let's go and get into it and see what we can do. Can we get to the Welsh Cup final? And can we get to within 1 game of Europe? Of course it's going to be an important one financially, but we just want to get the win. And here is the team sheet. A couple of Italians in their squad as well. Cardiff Met Uni, a good side. We're going to really struggle against them today because they've been doing well this season. Chris Baker in the middle is a good pro. They've got Bradley Woolridge, the skipper, who's one we've been warned about. Dylan Rees, the substitute right back, is a player again I had in my warm-up save with Sefin Druids in FM20. And he was a top player in the top tier for us there. So let's pump the fist, get the lads to prove a point. They're almost motivated down to a man. So let's get into the first half. It's Bangor City v Cardiff Met Uni. We're going to encourage the boys to attack. We're not going to talk about people going on a transfer list in a tunnel interview. And we're going to get into the first half. Good to see a big crowd in today. The narrow diamond for us, of course. Let's see what Cardiff have gone for. They have gone, for the back 3 again. We've seen this a bit this season. Gives them defensive solidity. We've struggled to break a few of those sides down. So let's get into the first half and see how it pans out. And after 15 minutes, we're in with a throw on the right. Cardiff Met Uni get it away, but only as far as Garcia. It's something I've found a lot in this game so far. Having a holding midfielder in to recycle possession is so good from the clearances. Especially in these lower leagues, as Chris O'Grady has just scored a screamer. We were playing nice football, just interchanging passes in triangles. But from 30 yards, O'Grady let fly. I've seen him score a lot of headers this year, a lot of composed finishes rounding the keeper, but none like that. The first goal of the game goes to Bangor City, and we're getting ever closer to the final, and we're edging closer to Europe too. Half an hour gone, let's see if we can cling on. Well, half time, it's not been the most entertaining game, there's not been the most chances, and basically neither side has had a good chance to score, but Chris O'Grady's put a screamer in the top corner. If it wasn't for that, it would be another 0-0 against the top side. And it would be another game where we say, could we compete next year? As it is though, we're thinking about the final. Let's go and find out if we can cling on. 45 minutes to go. How do you think it's going to go? Well, it's been exactly how we wanted in this half so far. Although a poor clearance from the goalkeeper. Fanian's been put in by Mello and he's going to make it too, is he? Oh, he's missed it. Fanian never misses chances like that. 20 minutes to go. It's been a very quiet second half, is what I was going to say beforehand. We're really restricting the visitors, which is great. But we are going to have to make changes now. Bolton at left-back's had a poor game, so Kennedy Williams on for him. It's a real area we need to improve next season. I don't know if Bolton would stay anyway. But otherwise, we're going to need a better backup for sure. Unfortunately, Mello has sort of been marked out of the game by the holding midfielder. It's a young 17-year-old called Bailey. He's come through in their youth intake and he's absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to bring Joe Healy on as the number 10, and then I'm going to put Wells on in midfield for Atkinson, who's tired. Garcia can go up to the Carrilero role, which he's fairly confident with anyway. I'm just trying to work out actually which one's better in midfield. I think it is Garcia. It is. So he's going to be a Carrilero. He'll switch sides with Boot. And then in a holding role, Ben Wells will take the reins. So a few more destructive midfielders in just to try and keep it tidy. Let's see how it pans out. 20 minutes remaining. Can we hold on? Cardiff Met Uni attacking on the right. Baker with an inadvertent dummy, I think we would call that. And he's cleared as far as the back three. Long over the top from Cardiff. The right back Moore will get there. Clears away downfield. Is there anyone there? O'Grady beats his man to it. Great hold-up play. Healy releases Fanian. Takes on the centre-half. Beats him easily. But he's shot straight at Bateau. And after a few brilliant goal-scoring nights, he's just having an off day today. And Cardiff go over the top. Kyle John takes the direct approach. His shot's blocked to McCarthy. Left side of the box. Moore brings him down, but he wins the ball back at the same time. And thankfully, we managed to bring it away. 10 minutes remaining, and it's getting a little bit tough here. I'm not quite sure if Cardiff are going to create a chance. They haven't actually had a shot on target in this half, and we've had quite a few. But into 3 minutes of stoppage time, and we're going to have to go very, very time wasting. It looks good again. It looks like a 5th unbeaten game against a top tier side. If we can keep doing that next season, we're going to be real title contenders. So I'm just dropping the pressing intensity and the defensive line a bit, but otherwise I'm going to keep it fairly similar. We've not been threatened a huge amount, so let's hope that stays the same. They've gone 3 up front and they've got a free kick. 93rd minute, John puts it in, so Brett comes and claims. That's exactly why you sign a top goalkeeper. So Brett flies through, takes absolutely everything, including the ball. And he's taking his time as well. Experience pays off. He clears downfield. And Fanian's been put in. They left so many men up pitch, Cardiff. Fanian rounds the keeper. And he's put it wide of the far post. How on earth's he managed that? It is all over. We win 1-0. And we're 1 game away from Europe and a treble. Albeit with the second tier side. And the lads are absolutely inspired. And they're right to be. Now we find out who we're going to play in the final. We've put ourselves in a good position to win this. It's a powerful effort. Of course, we've got the tunnel interviews because we're on TV. The best players have bad days at the office. Chris O'Grady won it with a sensational strike. Otherwise, we would have been ruining Fanian's missed chances. So let's see who won the other semi. That's the important news now. And will it be Flint Town or will it be Barry Town who we face in the final for a place in Europe? Well, here is our confirmation. The date we're going to be back, is it after all the league games? It's not, so there's one more league game after that. It's a bit of a weird time to have it really, but we are going to be playing Barry Town United, the side who are second behind TNS in the top tier. They've got a couple of real superstars in their team. Probably one player that's better than any of the ones at TNS, but they haven't got as many of them that are good. So the man I'm on about, of course, is the one with the joint highest average rating in the league. Former EFL man David Cottrell. He is a Welsh international. He's declining physically quite a lot, but technically he has still got loads of quality. Played over 100 games for Birmingham, nearly 100 for Doncaster, 40 odd for Swansea, 50 for Sheffield United, 60 for Bristol City, games for Wigan and Portsmouth, Barnsley. He's such an experienced pro. And 24 caps for the national team as well. He's not the only good player at Barry Town. Owen Hesketh rated the best. He's on loan from Wolves in January, and he's better than any of our players as well. So there is going to be a big test here, and I'm not sure whether we're going to win it. As I said before, it's almost kind of better if we don't to start with. I know it sounds weird, but going up and straight into Europe is an added pressure, and I'd like to conquer the domestic scene first. They've got loads of names I recognise in there. The likes of Nat Jarvis, the likes of Kane McLagan, and actually, I'd argue this side's better than TNS on paper. Unless defensively they're really poor, I don't know why they're so far behind. A very good side, a very good test for us, and it's going to be a very competitive final. And of course, that's when we're going to be back next. We've wrapped up the league, so this is the chance at a treble. This is the chance at European football. And we're heading off to the Newport Stadium, which is not Rodney Parade. So who uses this ground? Newport City. Interesting. So a different ground to the League Cup final. Probably not quite as good a one, but the pitch condition's good. We like to play football, and I'm very excited. So if you did enjoy this one, that big semi-final, another victory against a top tier side, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think about all the off the pitch stuff, about that performance again, and Chris O'Grady to the rescue. What a hero with a thunderous strike. Of course, if you want to stay up to date with this series, the cup final, and all the other content on the channel, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. This one will be back in 2 days' time on Tuesday as we face Barrytown United in their Welsh Cup final for a place in Europe. And in the meantime, tomorrow, we've got the head coach. It's the start of a brand new season. Will we still be at our first club? What's going to happen? Make sure you're up to date with that one in the eye above, and then come and check it out tomorrow because it's going to be an interesting one for sure. We also had the final part of our beta live stream series with Wigan this morning. The full playlist is in the eye above too. As I mentioned at the start, don't forget it's your final opportunity today to vote for the live stream series from Tuesday onwards. The 4 options for the long term one are almost neck and neck, so you could have the sway in votes. Come and have your say, what you'd like to see once the full game's released as the live stream. But a massive thank you for watching, your continued support with the series. I cannot thank you enough for what you've done to this channel in the last couple of weeks. Long may it continue, and long may we have big days with Bangor City. I'm having a great time, I hope you are too, and I'll see you on Tuesday for the final.